If you are someone who has ever struggled with perfectionism, if you're an entrepreneur who has uttered the words, I must be consistent or else, then you are going to love this episode. My next guest is Molly Connolly. Molly is a 3-5 generator with just 2 centers defined in her human design. So she has her sacral defined and her spleen defined. And she is going to be talking to us about her business. She works with women in leadership, and she's had a lot of niche changes. She's really had a third line journey. So she's experimented lots in her business and kind of gone on a windy path over the last 6 years. Maybe you can relate to that too. We're going to be talking with Molly about what's changing in her business, how she was able to set up her business to make money while she is taking time off to move across the country, and her experience in the design to profit community. So welcome, Molly. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you so much, Vicki. I'm so glad to be here.
It's an exciting conversation. We've been supposed to meet on the podcast for something else, which we will eventually do, but I'm excited to have this conversation with you today.
Yes, I really can't wait for that opportunity as well.
So tell us a little bit about your business.
Yes, so I use human design, NLP, neurolinguistic programming, and something called the Energy Leadership Index, which helps measure people's energy levels to help women reconnect with themselves, with their energy, so that they can make decisions with clarity and self-trust.
I've not heard of that Energy Leadership Index before. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes. So this came through my coaching certification, actually, through a company called IPEC. And this helps measure your energetic levels based on like 1 through 7. They're all based off thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. And it's an attitudinal test. So like how you feel today and how you feel next month may change, but it actually helps measure where you're going in life, where there might be some gaps, where you could have some improvements based off of your personal experiences.
Okay. And we know that human design never changes other than that we decondition. So that's a really interesting combination. How do you use them together?
So I find it really, I know we haven't gotten into this, but my profile type's 3-5.
Yes.
And I use it as another data point. And so what I have been finding very fascinating is the clients that I have that do both a human design reading and this assessment, it's very much in parallel. So the areas that they want to work on are found in some of their undefined or open centers, as well as maybe places that they feel stuck or where they haven't had movement or they have these belief systems about themselves. So it's wonderful to see how it overlaps and really does work together, as well as gives people a different way of measurement of growth. So one thing that I'm doing with a mentorship client, she previously was a coaching client, moved into mentorship. We will have work together, I think a year in November. And I am going to offer her to take the ELI again for free. So I can measure how she has shifted energetically since our work together, and lay out all of what she's transitioned through.
We were talking about that on the last call in Design to Profit about how important data is. And it always surprises me how few entrepreneurs actually ever, not only do they not collect data, but if they collect it, they're not looking at it. But you're a data girl.
Oh, yes. Even before I was in coaching, I actually was in digital marketing for 10 years and A/B testing was my favorite thing.
Because?
Well, I would be able to have data to prove where we needed to go, what was efficient, what was actually working, what wasn't working, where we needed to spend our money, and where maybe we should shift things.
So important. So important. Yeah. So this client that you've worked with for a year, is that typical for you? Is that the kind of work that you love to do with women? Dive in for long term?
I definitely love the one-on-one work. I love coaching. My coaching usually is like 4 to 5 months. It's very flexible, but the mentorship's 6 months. And if needed, it can be flexible. And it's never really my plan to have someone continue. It's only if they want to. She's a 4-1. And so the relationship was really important to her, that staying on her fixed path, but at the same time, being able to play a little bit with it and see where she can move and where she needs to stay, has been something she's been working through.
And who are your favorite people to work with?
That's I it's really hard to explain because it sometimes really comes through that sacral response.
Mm,
When we have a 30-minute connection call, I can tell if, ooh, this is going to be someone I want to work with.
hmm
That's what's really important to me is when people bring what they need help with to the table and say, yes, I can check those boxes, but am I the person to do that for you? I always have to do that own gut check,
hmm
as well as I'm going to be with that person for
Yeah.
that amount of time. So it's usually women who are noticing that they've taken ABC step, but they haven't necessarily applied it to their life. They
hmm
haven't bothered to, they think they've taken the leap, but it's been maybe reading a self-help book or listening to a podcast and never taking the extra action to really embody it or apply it to their life, but they know they need to and they might want some support or helping hand. I'm usually that person. So it's
hmm
either, and what I work with women on varies. So everything from divorce to greater transitions in life, like maybe a career shift. It could even be moving across the country. My 401 moved across the country, and that was really hard for her. um, it could even be things that I'm actually not well versed in. I'm working with another client with some parenting issues that are really causing her to be in her not self theme and making her life feel so much more difficult and full of anger. And
hmm
so it's as needed and what my clients really want to work on and how I can support them with that energetic feel that we have together, that energetic connection.
Okay, I want to bring our listeners up to speed for a second, okay? So bear with me. So Molly is talking about someone with a 4-1. She's someone who is a 4-1. That means the 4-1 profile. So this person that Molly is working with, when we look at the 4-1 profile, we know that it is a juxtaposition incarnation cross, which is why Molly said she has a very fixed path in life. 4-1 is very foundational. That one line wants all the information. Both the 4 and the 1 build foundations as they go through life. The fourth line builds and uses in the best way community. So that's why Molly said that was hard for her to move across the country, this particular person. Now I want to move forward. And you said that you are in these 30-minute interviews, or I can't remember what you called it, like a discovery session. You're using your sacral energy. So we know that Molly is a generator. And I'm looking at her human design chart. With your permission, I'll put the picture of it without your birth
Sure.
information in the show notes. Okay. So for Molly, she has the 3457. This is her only fully defined channel. And the 3457 is the archetype of power. And it is that razor sharp intuition in the moment. It's like my sacral response of what it's going to take to survive. It is just everything so quick, razor sharp intuition. I think I've said that like 3 times, but I love this channel so much. I have this channel too. And once you get in tune with your sacral, it is so powerful. So Molly is using her sacral in these conversations to say, yes, this person is for me, or no, they're not. I would assume, and I'm going to make an assumption here, Molly, but when I look at your design, you have 7 undefined or open centers and 2 defined centers, which, I mean, there's no like standard for a generator or standard for a manifesting generator, but typically we would look at that and we would say, oh, wow, she doesn't have a lot of definition for a generator. We would often expect to see more definition. But I would imagine that all of this openness serves you well in serving your clients because you're taking in more from the field than you're depositing into the field. So your clients can take advantage of that, I would assume.
I would say so. The experiences and the experiments that I've had from the different themes of the centers definitely show up at different
Mm,
times. Um, and how open and curious I can be. Really, the ajna has been very helpful in certain situations that I haven't as much experience with, such as parenting. So
mm,
it's being very curious about the conversation styles, really leaning into my coaching and my own experiences to ask the right questions to help pull things out of her to see where she wants to also experiment.
mm, hmm. Yes, you're the ultimate experimenter as a 3-5.
Yes, I love it. I didn't realize how much until honestly joining D2P. So Design to Profit, I didn't realize how much I experimented.
Yeah, especially as a quad left. So we're going to go way in the human design rabbit hole for a second here, but just a second, I promise. Um, Molly is a quad left in human design, and I am a quad right. So we are the opposite ends of the extremes as far as human design variable goes. And I feel like it must be an interesting way to live. So people always say to me, that's a conundrum in your chart. Like, how can you be a quad right and a manifesting generator? And they might look at you and go, well, how can you be a 3-5 and a quad left? Because the 3-5 wants to play around, bang around, bump around, do all the things. Well, whether you want to or not, you're doing it. And that quad left wants so much structure. Now, I don't feel that the manifesting generator and the quad right is a conundrum at all. I'm like, it's perfect for me. How have you stepped into this, what some people might call a conundrum in your design?
Oh, wow.
Where do
Before
I
coming
start?
into, yeah, I will say that I already mentioned previous life before coaching and before human design. I was working in digital marketing where I was really leaning into my quad left. I
Mm,
was spreadsheets, looking at data, and I still do this every day. It's hard to break a habit of looking at my data, my insights every single morning.
mhm,
Um, but with my previous job, that's what I would do is just constantly look at data, play with creative because I did, Facebook ads, that sort of thing. Um, but when I moved into entrepreneurship, that did not translate for me
mm,
because most of what I did before was I worked at large corporations that had $1 million advertising budgets. And of course, I could play, I could
mm,
really experiment with creating a bunch of different ads, see what really worked, what stuck, excuse me. And then moving over to entrepreneurship, I was like, oh, I just need to be very structured. And this is how things are going to move. I love how
da,
you
da, da,
smile
da.
because um and that's not entrepreneurship for me.
Yeah.
It's very ironic. I had to really lean into change. I had to
Mm,
really allow myself to experiment with different strategies, with different structures, with different platforms, um, and remind myself, because there's parts of my chart where I want perfection, that it's okay that this isn't perfect because this all is an experiment.
mhm.
Because in Design to Profit, you mentioned business is third line. And I didn't really even lean into my 3-5 profile until I joined. I actually, before I joined, I remember briefly chatting with you because you shared a reel with this man who was, and you won't remember it more than likely, who was outside dancing with a hose and he's just throwing it back and forth. And
Yeah.
you're like, these are my 3-5s. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is such my personality when I let my close people
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
And when I stepped into Design to Profit, you even just elaborated even more about how we are allowed to figure out what's consistent for us. And
Mhm.
that was so eye-opening. That took my sacral and really grounded it. It didn't feel anxious. It didn't feel like I was doing things wrong. It was, oh, let's play with what consistency means. And there's a variety of ways that that has showed up in ways that you've taught in our monthly calls. I don't want to give away any, but
It's
there have
totally
been
fine. Yeah.
numerous ones.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I track my working hours every day just
Mhm.
because I want to prove to myself that I don't have to work 10 hours
Mm.
to be successful.
Yeah.
So that I have the data that says, oh, you only worked 10 hours this week, but you made a huge difference with your client.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where these left arrows have allowed me to kind of turn on and off like light switches.
Hmm.
Um, and really play in that 3-5 and still stay grounded. I mean, it's not necessarily grounded, but really grounded in my sacral.
Mm. I love that you're talking so much about your sacral because you must find this in your human design business as well. That sacral beings, so generators and manifesting generators, or what we call sacral beings, are hardly ever in touch with their sacral. Even people who've been in the human design space for years, you can meet with them and they have no idea how to feel their sacral.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you do a lot of work with that with your people?
If they need it,
Hmm.
I have the 4-1 client is like she's going through mentorship. She has been well versed in her sacral. Her sacral is very well in tuned. But when she has a lot of people around her, which is something that I've noticed about myself because of all the undefined and open centers, it's
Ah,
gone.
yeah.
And
Oh, that's so
so,
interesting.
yeah, it's gone. My husband and I'm so glad I told him, you have to go to work today. I don't want you around when I'm on this podcast. And he's like, oh, is this because I'll complete you? And I was like, yeah, I don't want your energy because when we're
Mm.
together, we're a 9 and 0.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
lot. It's
Yeah.
a lot though.
Yeah. So let me just pause for a second for our listeners who might not be as well versed in human design. So when Molly and her husband are together in auric space, so together in the room, together in their space, they complete all 9 centers in the human design chart. So his chart and her chart are not his chart and her chart. They come together and they form another entity, and that entity has all 9 centers defined, which means there's no wiggle room. So when she says 9 and 0 and nowhere to go, there's no wiggle room for them to kind of. So yes, you wouldn't be able to really experience and use your openness, I would suspect, when you're with him.
Oh, yes. And he has some channels that make me feel pressured to work when I
Interesting.
can feel that my body wants to rest. And so there's times where that openness, I'm able to reflect back and be like, okay, your partner may be completing too many channels. This one client also did experience a relationship reading. So she also knows that her partner does complete certain parts of her, but also brings outside of her that she needs to pay attention to. So these are wonderful things to have as information, as data points.
Mm.
So like I said, I'm loving the data, the 3-5. So the openness and the undefined parts of my chart really allow that reflection for myself within the sessions, as well as the 3 allows me to play in their chart. When we're not together, I very much enjoy going in and saying, oh, she said this yesterday. What could that be? And doing my own sort of enjoying of play, data, reflection, and seeing if that comes up for her again, to be like, I need to note that and come back to this.
How very quad left of you.
I didn't realize that was super quad left. I was like, oh, that's just the 3-5 of me.
So as a quad right, it would be like, oh, that'll be somewhere in my brain and it'll come out when it needs to. It's just there. I don't know how to get it. It's there. You'll get it from me, but I won't be able to get it. So cool. So cool. I love that you talked about relationships, because that's reminding me that you actually not very long ago came from the relationship space. Like you were doing relationship mentoring. Talk to me about the niche switch.
Oh my goodness. Well, actually, this even goes back even farther. So when I first started my coaching business, I was working with athletes transitioning out of college athletes or professional roles and into full-on life. And it was ironic. It hit right when I started that, right when COVID hit. And what I was finding was a lot of these clients needed more mental health. So I was a previous college athlete as well. And so I knew that transition was very difficult for some of us, but I couldn't support. So I moved on to high achieving women who were feeling burnout, whether that was with career, relationships, or even just home life. And in that process, what I noticed was that maybe we did 12 sessions, let's say about that. And they would work through their career. And next thing you know, they'd be like, I really want to work on relationships. And I was like, oh, we could do this. I just love this process. And as that grew, that's what I switched to, because that's what my clients were coming to me for. But then I started attracting the clients that said, could you help me create my dating profile? Could you help set me up with so-and-so? Could you discuss more about Love Island? And I'm like, bleh.
Did your soul die?
I just wanted, because you see it in my chart. Like there's parts where I'm like, I really need authentic connection. And TV, reality TV, movies, books, that's not me. That's fun to play with, but don't bring that to a coaching session. If you want to work on yourself, I'm not going to play that. And so I slowly but surely was like, this really isn't for me. I had a company come in and say, hey, would you want to do speed dating maybe? And we can do this together. And I was like, you know what? Let's try it. And I had fun for a while, but my own business went to the side. So I took a sabbatical. It started as a month and then it turned into 4 months. And through that time, I was just, playing with my own human design, sharing some aha moments with my friends. And my best friend was like, you need to do this with your clients. I was like, no one's going to do this. No one would want this.
Wow.
And yeah, because I didn't think people would. And so I experimented with it. I got into different circles. I spoke more openly about my experiences with human design and how I was playing with it as well as seeing it happen. And it started just to fall in my lap that way. And yes, it's ironic to say, but then at the same time, is it when our charts probably say this, like the clients come when I feel the most joyous,
Yeah.
when I am doing the thing that makes
Satisfied.
me happy. Exactly. So that's how I ended up doing human design. I couldn't do the relationship because it made me feel icky. The high ambitious career woman made me feel icky. I mean, I ended up just regurgitating all of my own corporate trauma. And then the athlete part, I was like, "Oh, I just can't support them in the way that I know they deeply need. I'm not qualified. I'm not a licensed therapist." So in human design, it's mostly people that I work with are usually really new to human design. So we stick with the basics. We don't even get into the variables until if we really need to. We just want to make sure that they get into their type, their strategy, and their authority first, and then really start playing from there. But my mentorship client, that's a 4-1, she's certified in human design through Karen Kirk-Packer. So we touch on a variety of little things that are moving for her, sometimes even transits, but not a lot. That's not usually where I would want to go because that's not something I'm well versed in, but I know it does affect all of us. Does that answer your question? I feel like my undefined head just went on a tangent for you.
That's all right. We're all about the tangents here. We're all about the tangents. Okay, so I want to go to your human design conditioning in a second, but I also want to stay on this niche thing for a minute because you've kind of gone around the mulberry bush in these niches, which I love. And I feel like I just want to make a statement about normalizing that it's okay to take some time to find your path, and it's okay to take some time to find, especially the last 6 years that we've been through on the planet. So we're recording this in 2026 and we are living in unprecedented times. And the entrepreneurs that I come into contact with are feeling so much pressure around showing up consistently, which makes me want to barf, around pressure to find their niche, pressure to find their people, pressure to find their one thing, all of these things. And business is third line. You're also a third line. I love that you've gone around and around and around and you took some time off, which can be really scary to actually opt out and be like, nope, I'm on the sidelines for a little bit because you have all of those fears, I'm sure, that come up the same as every other human on the planet. But you stuck with that process of third lining your way through it. And now you're having this beautiful experience with your business and with your clients. But you wouldn't have gotten there if you hadn't allowed yourself to do the twists and turns along the way.
Yeah. But I also wouldn't have gotten there if someone like you didn't exist to give me permission to do so.
Oh, thank you. Oh.
I will say that though, because it's honest. I mean, earlier this year, we did a planning session. That's what we do in the group. Like there was that one. And I was like, I'm going to do this, 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 this. And I'm like, and I'm moving across the country here. And you're like, no, you are not doing, you didn't say it this way, but you're like, you're not doing this, 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 this. And so I jumped off, meaning I went on mute. Other people were doing their thing. And I started mapping it out. And I was like, yeah, I really can't do this. Why do I think I can? And what I love a lot about your podcast sometimes is you call out oh my gosh, now I've lost the term, fun.
Bro marketers?
Bro marketing. And I'm like, I lived in that world. I know what this is doing to me. It's this forcing and force and force and hurry up, hurry up, hurry up and hustle, hustle, hustle. And even if you're a manifesting generator, the hustling's not fun. And so it's just such a refreshing actually to be in Design to Profit, to be like, oh, I don't have to do it that way. I can actually try something else and I can actually take a break. For example, I've been off Instagram for a full year and my business is doing better
I love
than
that.
bothering
Yay.
to be there.
Yay.
Yeah. So
Yes.
no, it's not typical for people to say that, but I mean, it's those things that we have to like pay attention to in ourselves, that if we're forcing something, if we're pushing too much, that never really shows up in our design unless we're a manifestor. And even if you're a manifestor, you're going to burn if you're constantly pushing. And, so I love that Design to Profit has allowed me to say, okay, that's not how I'm designed. What do I need for myself? What does my sacral say? What does it say do I need today? even though my strategy, like my plans say this, let's make sure my sacral still says this is a go.
Mm-hmm.
And that has meant, yeah, maybe I am working 10 hours today because I'm excited. And maybe that means tomorrow I'm only at 3, but I'm still doing something that I'm passionate about, that I want to show up every single day and do. And show up looks different for me. And that's fun.
That's okay. Yeah. So how many hours do you work a week, do you think? Well, you would
Actually,
know
let me
because
look
you got your
over.
spreadsheet. Let me look at my spreadsheet.
Actually, it's not on a spreadsheet, but I need to put in a spreadsheet. It's actually on a whiteboard that I forgot I was going to drop into Design to Profit.
Oh.
Last week I worked 16 and the week before was 18, and I have an average per month. It's funny. Per month, I'm about only 70 hours.
Right on. Good. Good, good, good. Good. And
Yeah.
you are satisfied as a generator.
Oh, more than ever.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're moving across the country.
Yes.
And I'm trying to remember, I mean, I am remembering that planning session and every month since then. And you've been reverse engineering to be able to
Mm.
take the time away from your business to be free and easy when you're moving, correct?
Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorite things. Any 3-5 listening, reverse engineering is the best. Like, I just can't help to say that is so much fun once you have all the data, 3-5s, reverse engineer. Yeah. I'm hopeful that I get to finish one of my goals for this month, but
Mm-hmm.
that, one of the things is that I haven't done paid reports.
Mm-hmm.
And before we even had the planning session, I didn't really have a great lead magnet, but I had my mentorship program, I had my coaching. And like you've said in previous podcasts, you really work backwards from that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have been able to create like an 11-page energy report where people get their chart, get a play, experiment with things. It's fun for them. I may never see them again.
Yeah.
They may turn into a client, who knows, but they get to experiment with their energy the way that I do. But by doing that, I said, oh, well, I would like to have a paid report that replaces, while I'm unavailable,
Mm-hmm.
human design readings and maybe relationship readings, because I'm going to try my hardest to focus only on my clients during my transition.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a goal. We're going to see if by the time this lands, this podcast lands, I'm hopeful that that is actually available.
Cool.
It's a goal.
Very cool. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't hit that goal,
It's totally fine.
there you go. There you go. It'll get done when it gets done. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So human design, how long have you been in your experiment?
I would say only 2023.
Okay. So what has been the biggest eye opener for you? Like, what was the best gift in your human design, understanding your human design that you were like, oh my God, if only I'd known that?
Actually, let me do a recent one. So my identity center is undefined,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been struggling with a lot of health issues since 2021. I moved locations, and I moved from Omaha, Nebraska to St. Louis, Missouri. And ever since living here, I haven't felt good. And this is the main reason, probably the top 3 reasons why we're moving. But I didn't realize how much my identity center really impacts me.
Mm-hmm.
And being a college athlete and having gate 46. And when I move my body and I feel good, when I'm in maybe a team atmosphere, when I get to compete, that is when my world, even pre-human design, was top of my game. Some of the best and easy things coming to me. Job opportunities, great friendships, finding my husband, ironically enough, right before COVID, like all these things were more driven towards me when I was actually leaning into that. And so I didn't notice it until, like I said, when we lived here. But every time I move, every time I go on vacation in very extended times, I can actually feel energetically different in locations now. Mm-hmm. Because I've been really paying attention and trying to grow my intuition through the channel that you mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. So that to me has been very eye-opening. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait to see what happens the rest of this year and so on.
Mm-hmm. What's your sport? What was your sport?
I was a college swimmer.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's so fun. I can't swim.
It
So
can
just
be.
think it's amazing when I look at swimmers. I'm like, oh my, and I've taken swimming lessons, I've done all the things, and I just sink like a stone. So yeah, I just love to watch people in the water. Yeah, good for you. Okay, so I'm going to bring our listeners up to speed for a second. So Molly is talking about the center that is in the center of the body graph. It is like a diamond shape. If it's defined for you, it will be colored in yellow. And if it's undefined, it will be white. She's saying it's the identity center. And what we know about the identity center is that it has a geographical sensitivity. So that's why Molly's talking about feeling different in different places, feeling unwell in some places. So if yours is undefined, you may have experienced that in your life. You walk into a restaurant and you're the last one to sit at the table and you're uncomfortable for the whole meal because everybody was already seated and it's not the right place for you. I've had clients with an undefined G center and they'll walk in to go to get their groceries that day and they put their hand on the door and they're like, not today. They turn around, they leave once they understand their human design. So Molly, one of Molly's gifts, she has many, many gifts, but one of Molly's gifts is being incredibly sensitive to and intuitive about the direction and identity for another person, which is why she does such amazing client work. But for herself, that can often be a struggle. That's why we all need other people, because there's always something in our designs and in our persons, in our selves, that needs that outside ear. But that's why she's talking about the geographical sensitivity there, just to bring you up to speed. So I think I'm remembering this correctly, and please correct me if I'm not, but you've done some work around how you're using your email list in your business. Because I think I remember that one of the things that you were working on is that you were putting out offers to your existing email list. And it was like many, many entrepreneurs do, the list stays stagnant, it's not growing. And we just keep hitting people with different versions of offers and
Mhm.
wondering why they're not buying. I think that was okay. So what's different? What's changing for you?
Personally, I would say first, it's the lead magnet is
Hmm.
different.
Okay.
Because we did the reverse engineering from that. So it's growing.
Hmm.
I'm actually not using any sort of advertising to land there. I'm not really, I need to. I'm not going to say that, but like
Hmm.
I really do enjoy working in SEO and I haven't done it in a while.
Hmm.
So I know that that will bring that back up to speed. But I decided to really lean in and be vulnerable and share probably at least one or two things that are happening in my life each week that show my human design.
Okay.
So I am open and vulnerable every Sunday on my newsletter, like, huh, this is what's going on. And it could be something great. This last Sunday, I talked about how I was living in my frustration, my not self every single day, the chaos of boxes everywhere. My husband is an engineer and he'll be called to go do an inspection out of state. And then I'm left to go do all the things. And I'm like, well, that ruins my plans. My quad left is like, no.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
so, so I share my personal story every single week.
Mm.
So what I love is hearing back from people or people that actually joined my email list when they were either an athlete in transition or they were a high achieving woman or a woman that found me in relationships or at the speed dating events and they connect with me or they message me and say, oh, that's so relatable. And that's what I try to do. I try my hardest to show that this isn't just a bunch of numbers and lines and whatnot, that it's useful information, that it's practical and we can apply it in small doses if you want, or we can go big or go home. Um, but doing that through my email list has actually brought me more connection to myself, which is
Mm.
hard to believe since that's part of the design as well. So
Hmm.
it's allowing me to really um, reconnect with my email list in a new way that I love to do.
Mm. So for 3 5s, so that 3 5 is Molly's profile. So for 3 5s, you are on an intrapersonal journey. And this is one of the things that I absolutely hate in the bro marketing space, where we're told you can never talk about yourself. But Molly has to share her own story, her own journey. And as a third line, she has to share. And if you are a third line, you have to share how you're getting it wrong, how you're bumping around, what's a struggle for you, all of these things. I mean, there's so much more in your design than your third line, but that is a big piece of the puzzle. And so if Molly were to try to show up at her email list and be absolutely perfect and never let them see her sweat and never let them see her frustration, never let them see how she's bumping around, they're not ever going to relate to her. And if you're a third line profile, that's going to be a disconnect for your audience as well. So, and it's more fun. Like you can tell you're having more fun with it than back when you're like, oh my God, this damn email list. It's like, it was so frustrating.
Oh yeah. And I will tell you, I did the perfection before there was ChatGPT. That was hard. An email that now takes me, I mean, if I want to say an hour, because I'm like, ooh, what creative spin am I going to share? Like I take time brainstorming, figuring out which one really do I feel is the most important story to share right now. Maybe an hour, but before it would take me days to write a very simple email back when I hadn't touched human design yet. Because I felt like I had to show up perfect, just like on Instagram or on Facebook or any of those things. Or even when I did record podcasts, I always had to make sure I was ready for video. So if I could turn this into this, and now I just want to show up as me.
Yeah.
So
kiss of death
and I
for
do.
a third line, the perfectionism, kiss of death in your business. Yeah.
Oh, everywhere. Because the fifth line will find those people that are like, why are you showing up with no makeup on? Be like, because I can.
Yeah, exactly. Take that. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Okay, so what's one breakthrough that you have had in Design to Profit that you don't think you would have had on your own?
Oh, man. I definitely think the consistency piece has been huge. But there's so many. We'll start with the consistency piece because before I felt like I had to get up in the morning, skip my workout, make sure I looked great, jumped on Instagram, talked to the camera, did like 5,000, not 5,000, but, do quite a bit of stories, have my content go out at a perfect time because this is when everybody's on Instagram. That was one thing, as well as, okay, I have a podcast. Now I need to make sure this goes out every single week at this time. It needs to be the same sort of format. And it just burnt me out. I thought at first that it was the podcast that wasn't really working for me because the undefined throat. I was just like, oh, it's that. And I leaned heavily into Instagram and I wasn't seeing the data that I wanted. And so when I took that break, I felt really horrible about myself because, I'm supposed to be consistent. I know this from digital marketing world and life, like corporate life, like you're supposed to be consistent. If you don't show up, someone else will. And I know that also from my athlete life. Who's going to train harder is going to be the person that gets this and makes this happen. And I had this huge pressure on myself to do it that way. So I had to really work with that belief of what is consistent for me. And you've said that numerous times, not to me, but to other 3/5s and to other people in the Design to Profit community about what's consistent looks like to me, looks different to you. So now this season that I did my podcast, I was like, well, what feels good? Let's do it twice a month. And it actually feels way better than when I tried doing a 5-day series last fall, which that was tough. It's better than doing it every week. It allows me to really sit in this creative space and really create from a place of authenticity. It really leaves space for those clients having whatever they're going through, as well as it really brings my intuition online. The more I have allowed this consistency to be like, what does it say in my design versus it has to be A plus B equals C, or it has to be perfect. That has moved mountains, but allowing myself also permission to, even though I wanted this to be a really crazy big year of getting all these foundational pieces done in my business, that it's not like the world is going to end December 31st.
We hope.
With if I, it's one of those where where, if we lived in corporate world for so long, it's like, oh, end of year's got to have this. We need to hit these numbers. And I didn't realize how much I was still living in that world for myself. And so being in this community, it's not just working with you, but it's also seeing what other women are going through, whether they're using human design or not in their business, allowing me to say like, oh, wow, we're all doing it differently. And that's okay. And it's actually really wonderful to see.
Yeah. And what about the times when you can't make the calls live? Do you feel like you're disconnected? And it's okay to say
no,
yes.
honestly, no. It's more of, I have to make that choice of, do I show up today? Do I feel good enough to show up today? Most of the time it's yes. Or am I stressed out enough that I might cause a distraction? So I personally feel into it. I know that when I move, it might be really difficult to join those hot seats because I think that's going to be like 6 or 7 a.m. for me. And we'll see what happens.
Okay. What are you most excited about for the rest of 2026 in your life, in your business? What's exciting?
Moving, number one, getting to a beautiful location, like starting new. It's actually really refreshing. Once this chart work is done, this report, I really can't wait to play with SEO, Pinterest. And I'm falling in love with long form content again, seeing how that comes and goes, playing with that, being in the community more often to seeing what other people are doing. Like those are things that I really am excited about.
Yeah, it's nice to have a community around you of people who are doing the same things only differently. Yeah, and to feel supported. Because I often think like sometimes we talk to our spouses or a friend and they really don't know what we do as online entrepreneurs. Like it's really they don't get it. I don't think they get it.
Exactly.
So what feels easier for you than it did 6 months ago?
Showing up as myself. I've always had a hard time with perfectionism and being myself, but longing that connection and feeling like, actually, knowing more about the 3-5 profile and the projections really allowed me to be like, oh, that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
That was so helpful. The way you've described it in different ways. And I know that you love working with 3-5s. So you talk about this quite a bit, but it really does show me that the more that I'm who I am, the more I actually get to work with the clients I want to the most. I attract myself into like situations. I have really fun serendipitous moments of like, ooh, there's this that just landed at my feet. Do I want to research this now? Like, do I want to play over here? Like, how many sandboxes can I play in? Probably only one. I'm not a manifesting generator, but still, like, the world has become more playful the more I have stepped into my authentic self and putting down things that I thought were needed to be on a pedestal. And that's ironically something that has been sprinkled throughout many of the online classes and the meetups with us in the community. It's just little tidbits every once in a while that are just placed over here on a note that really allow me to be like, oh, I can do this differently. And that's okay.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So I have one last question about D2P.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you being in D2P? What does it mean to you in your business at the end of the day?
It means, well, first of all, everyone has such a variety of and depth of knowledge and variety of spaces that when I had a chart issue, I knew I could go to that Facebook group and ask a question versus if I went to a different place, they might not answer me right away. And I had 2 or 3 people answer me. And I was like, okay, well, that's how I'm going to work through this issue because so-and-so uses this program as well. This is what they've been able to do. And they have found that successful. I'm going to try that. Or being in the community, also, what I find very successful is leaning into seeing how people get excited even for the other programs that you have. and going back and forth between the communities to do that work, if that makes sense.
So between content by design and design to profit, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I love that I get to work with people, typically get to work with people for a very long time. So I get to know their designs. I get to like it just it's so fun. So fun. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And
It's
I
very
love
helpful.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. Yeah. And I love it when you come on a call and even if you're asking a question, you're always seeding like a little bit of like a plug for SEO or a plug for data, or it's so great because I'm like, yes, someone who gets it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I also love being on the call and being like, oh my gosh, I love Barb. Barb is so fun.
Yeah.
And every time she has something, it's almost every time I'm on a call, my sacral just will light on fire. And I'm like, I don't have a question. I just want to tell you, Barb, that's like really great idea. Like my sacral says, go, go, go. Maybe
Fellow
it's for me,
3-5.
but it's probably for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Another.
So
Yeah. So great.
that's another great thing was you get to cheer each other on, and being in a community like that as an entrepreneur, where maybe you've been in other communities where it's like, oh, I have to compete. That's not this. That's not this at all. There's people that are, gosh, how many of us would do human design in our businesses?
A lot. Like I would say probably half. Yeah.
And I don't feel like I'm competing with any of them, and they would not be competing with me. We do way different ways of applying it and using it and embodying it on our own, that it doesn't feel like a competitive space. And in entrepreneurship, that is so hard to find.
Yeah.
And then in the hypothetical spiritual space, that is also very difficult. So
yeah. And I find
that's why I love it too.
This is like, I mean, here I'm asking you the question, I'm answering it as well, but I find as well that it's not big enough that you get lost in it. Because I have been in a lot of very, very high priced programs. It's my goal to not buy any this year at all, where there are hundreds, if not thousands of people. And for me as a 2-4, I need my people to be close and I need to know them. So my goal in this series, we're launching into D2P in a new form of D2P that's going to be even better than this one. But I have a very clear number in my mind. I'm like, I don't want to grow from this to, 10 times this, because that's not how my design operates. So I like that we all really do know each other. I get to know your business inside and out. I can challenge you on things. I think on the last call, you were asking questions. I'm like, Molly, you know the answer. What's your sacral saying? Your sacral's talking to you right now. I know it is. So that's super fun. Yeah. All right.
Especially,
go ahead.
Sorry to say this too. It's like, and there's like normal life conversations that happen. It's not all about business. And that's another thing, is like, we're all human in this, and the community that you've created is ideal. It is perfect, in my opinion. Which I have talked about perfectionism being a problem this entire podcast. But the women that have been in there for a while, like and I'm like newish, probably compared to some others. Because I wish I would have joined in the beginning, but that's fine. I'm getting over that still. But the community is just so wonderful. And if people are looking for a place to land, if they're looking for a place to experiment and see if it's good for them, why not come in and try it? What do you have to lose? In my opinion, nothing. Yeah. Because
your perfectionism, your imposter syndrome.
Yes, all the conditioned things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to knock that right out of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so where can people find you? How do they get to your world, into your world?
The best way to find me is honestly my website.
Okay.
As like I said, I am not on Instagram anymore. I mean, if you can want to find me there and go to the links, that's great. So my website is reinventingthearena.com. Yeah, as I see them. I mean, you can listen to my podcast. You will actually see the transition, because that used to be all about relationships, and then it transitioned into human design. That is also called Reinventing the Arena podcast. You want me to give you those links? I can.
Yeah, I'll absolutely link them in the show notes. And when your report is ready, even if it's not at the time that this airs first, if people are listening down the road, we can put the link in there so that they can go and check out your reports as well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah. So we'll have that all linked up in the show notes for you.
Oh, real quick,
Yeah.
Alvin, here we go. Right?
Yeah.
If they want to stay in tune to how I'm actually living this weekly, you
Mm-hmm.
can, go to my website, download your chart, and get an 11-page energy report. So you can actually test and play like how I play with my
Mm-hmm.
design that's specific for you.
Very fun. Very fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll link all those up in the show notes for you so that you can go and get into Molly's world. It's a good place to be. I love the name of that, Reinventing the Arena.
Yeah. So that came about as your life is the arena. We all
Mm,
get to play in it. And
hmm
there's a lot of people watching it. And
mm,
they all tell you what you're supposed to be doing, how to do it. And when you're reinventing it, they don't have a voice. They don't get to tell you what to do. It's
hmm
really coming back to yourself, working on you so that you can reinvent the arena on your own.
mm. Beautiful. Yeah.
Well, with support, but
Yeah, with support. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
You have a great laugh too. I love your laugh. Yeah.
thank you. My client made it actually in her last testimonial. She's like, yeah, her laugh is part of the reason why I love working with her. I was like,
Aw, so
that's
good.
sweet. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to tell people I laugh during our calls.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. I have loved talking to you outside of our group calls, and I appreciate you doing this interview with me. Thank you.
Oh, yes. I love being able to shout what I value from the rooftops, and that gets to be D2P and working with you, Vicki. So thank you once again for this opportunity. It's been wonderful.
You're welcome.